Okay, we're starting a Handicap 2 game. I think I should have started at the 3-4 because that's what I'm used to. He also didn't take the cross. He took the he also did not take the cross. He actually took the kind of like lateral 2. So yeah, he actually took the lateral 2. So we'll actually go with this. Go with this. So it's still kind of the same setup. I'm just going to announce it and okay, there we go. We got the pop-up chat over here this time. I know it's a slightly smaller screen. It's a slightly smaller screen. I usually would just play this, but since it is a handicap game, I am going to invade over here first. It's a slightly smaller screen, but it shouldn't really make any difference. I want to be able to see the chat because, like, I do like to be able to answer people while the game is going on. For people that are actually watching. Like I said, my handicap play is quite a bit different than my regular play, and I do tend to lose some of these games because I'm not very good at giving handicap, but it's always a good learning experience. Always a very good learning experience. But actually securing the corner is always a pretty good idea. Securing the corner is always a pretty darn good idea. For black, if you are playing handicap, because you're starting off with a fairly large advantage. And it's actually up to white for that advantage. Some invasion points on the corner are Q2. Possibly R3 later on in the game. Right now, I'm not going to invade. Because right now, invading actually wouldn't make much sense. I would have actually considered double honeying here. So I can either do this or I can jump here. Jumping obviously allows... I'm actually going to jump here just to decrease the amount of this moyo. And I'm going to try to start getting like a big moyo here to get some advantages while attacking. But like I said, if black actually plays the Josekis right, or the regular Josekis, it is kind of hard for white to actually catch up. That's not a bad move. That's also not a bad move. I do want to force... I'm actually going to force this way because I want to build this moyo. Although, like, it may not be the best idea. It definitely may not be the best idea. I think going downward also would not be the best idea. This is gonna be me taking a little risk. I probably shouldn't have done this because that solidifies his corner, honestly. That's actually okay. I'm just going to come out and come over here. One of the main goals is to kind of get this Moyo anyways. Actually, I probably should have just connected on that one. I probably did make a pretty big mistake here. I think I take handicap 2 probably a little too hard because I shouldn't play this way with a smaller handicap because it's really not. That's not a good. That's just not a good move. Do I need to fix this? Tari, no, I don't think I do. Yeah, that's fine. The goal here has largely been accomplished. Now, not completely accomplished, I would guess. But sort of. I can't kill him down here, but that was never really the plan anyways. Oh, that was... No, I can go that way, that's fine. Always Atari this first. So now I have a bit of a problem. I can extend this way, but that would be problematic because he would just extend that. I can Atari this. Which is probably what I'm going to do. And then come over this way. What was that? I think he wants to undo. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't actually want to do that. Like, with this, I would just take the stone. I do give people chances for undo, but if he doesn't want one, I'll just go ahead and take the stone. Because that invasion, that doesn't actually make any sense. Give him a while to respond, and then I will... I mean, if he does... I can't give him an undo. I think he probably wanted to play Q18. Is my guess. Alright, if he doesn't respond, I'm going to just take the stone. I actually don't really care if he lives down here right now. I mean, like, with a stone there, he's going to live. I'm pretty sure he can live. I think he wanted to probably invade Q18 first, is my guess, instead of Q19. I mean, he can still... If he wants an undo, we can just do 2 undos. it is possible for us to like undo twice. Because that's a pretty egregious mistake. Plus, that move doesn't really make any sense. But even had he invaded Q18 at this point, I would have still taken the stone. Because that's bigger than him invading the corner, and plus I can still get all this territory here. I I don't. Did he leave or something? I'm not really sure. He might have left. He's not playing anymore. I mean, I can just play. I can play another game if he leaves. This usually doesn't happen, but every once in a while, there might be something wrong with the internet connection or something like. Oh, okay. It is.
Undo requested. Undo granted. Undo requested. Undo granted.
There we go. That's pretty much what I thought. That doesn't necessarily help him, actually. That actually doesn't necessarily help him. I wonder why he did that. I mean, he's not actually alive here either, is the problem. At most, he has to play a ko for this. The whole point was actually getting this eye. I probably wouldn't have played down there anyways, because that's actually not an eye. I don't know if he has a ko big enough. I can play this as well. This would guarantee that I live, more or less. I think it would. Yeah, so I'm going to play this. Because then I can come down here and go that way. So he can't actually kill me now. He kind of has to play the ko right now. And he does not have one big enough to offset this. Because remember, this group might actually be in a danger. I don't think he has a ko big enough. You could do something like this, but I probably wouldn't answer this either. I think he just, I'm pretty sure he just misread this down here. There's two jumps. He probably read the other one. Like I said, I can connect. And if I push down here, I'm still alive. So he cannot actually kill me. Although I didn't play this very well because I'm giving up a lot here. Although having this push through, I can destroy some of the territory here. So, it goes both ways. There's just very little. There's actually just very little I would actually respond to. Like, I'm not going to respond to that. I'm just going to take this. I think like this, like something like this, or even like maybe something like that's a better. This is not a hard response. Here, you don't have to take that. That's kind of a wasted move. I'm not gonna try to surround this territory for the time being. I'm gonna try to like destroy. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing another after this one. This honestly isn't too hard to defend against. I could, yeah, I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do that. Fighting's fine. I mean, like, it's always fine to do that. I'm not always going to be trying to try to get this territory. Sometimes I might just be trying to opt to kill him instead. This is big. I mean, like, this is obviously big, but if he has to, like, but a lot of this is going to be quite damaging for him. Okay. This I actually have to think a little bit on. If I can get a Sente on surrounding these two are pretty much dead. That's why I'm doing that. So I will trade one for the other, obviously. He can actually have those two. I'm just going to connect this because I want all my stuff to be pretty strong. And I always have the option to come down this way. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure he can't live here. Probably should have done this first, but I don't. Figured he'd do something like that. This realistically doesn't work. He's going for that cut, most likely. But that cut doesn't actually work.
Byo-yomi.
Also, I can just do this first. Or I can just even do this and just give him these 5. No, I'm just going to do this first. He has to cut here, by the ways. This is a little bit dangerous for me, I'll give you that. Okay, this doesn't really help him. I think I'm actually just going to do this. I don't think he can make another eye there. And I'm just going to take this. He makes one eye. He doesn't have enough liberties to compete with the other one. I'm going to just kill out his eye space here. So I don't think this can live. Remember, this group might actually still be in danger as well. I don't think it actually is. But it might. No, I don't think there's any way I can kill it. So I can go either way here. I think this is the safer play. Because no matter what he does, he can't make the other eye, which is really all I care about here. He can come down that way, but there's no way he can compete with liberties with this group. And there's not much liberties to compete with anyways. So he does that. I could just connect here, which is, no, I'm actually just going to do this because that should fix everything. If I do this, hell, let's just do this. I'll figure it out later. Sorry that. And then I can just wrap around here. Realistically, even if I didn't kill this, I'd be in okay shape. What? Does that put that? No, it doesn't, because this is already damped down. That doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure I can just play here, right? No, wait, hang on. If I play here, he does this. Ayatari brings...
10,
I
9,
don't think this does anything. No, it doesn't do anything. Because I can always just take these stones. Yeah, as long as I don't trap myself on liberties, I should be perfectly fine. This is one of those things that where you really play without thinking, because if you do that, I'm just gonna connect just for, but I'm gonna connect here, but I could have actually extended down for sure. And remember, you're leaving this corner open when you do this. What? I mean, I'm not gonna Atari this. It wouldn't matter. I can, but I'm not going to. It's not like it would hurt me very much to do that. So there's a huge problem with this.
You have won.
Yeah, when the liberties get tight in that kind of shape, you always want to watch out for that. So let's go back and review this game. So I did give him 2 moves first, so this is Handicap 2. Usually I would play here, just to be safer, but this time I actually played out here just to get the Sente. Because my original feeling is like, I am going to try to build the Moyo on this side, like the Moyo around here. So that's why I did that. I went ahead and did that because that is very important. That move is fine. I think I'd rather play here or here. I think the corner is just a little bit more worthwhile. And also, like, this also would be a pretty good move. Forcing on these two, like, you know, would just force me to probably run as well. And it would break up my moyo over here. So definitely, I would actually forced on this side. So I'm going to invade the corner because I don't want him to get the entire side, obviously. I don't know if I would have actually done that right now. I might have just like forced on this side again because I feel like that actually might be bigger. Yeah, there's problems here, but I think you can probably deal with those. Here, I think is just a little bit bigger right now. I'm going to jump up just to make my moyo. Yeah, I mean, you have to be the one to take it first. It's kind of like if someone, you can accept the next game, it's fine. As long as you're 5 to 12 Q, you can accept the next game, it's fine. But like, you have to be the first one to accept it. If someone accepts it before you do, then, you know, I'm not going to say like, I'm not going to play you. So yeah, like, or you can just go ahead and challenge me and I'll accept it after this review. But make sure it's an unranked game. Make sure it's an unranked game if you challenge. If you want to challenge me, like you can do a challenge to me, but make sure it's unranked and give like adequate amounts of time because I don't really play blitz. So you have I think like part of the reason I played this move is to fish for a move like this because yes, he does get the territory down here, but I actually just kind of like wanted the influence over here. So I did the same thing over here. And I was hoping he would just like answer because there's actually no points over here. Very few points over here because I can actually just go there. But this was actually the right move. I'm going to force over this way. Usually I would force over if I didn't feel like he was already ahead because of the handicap, I would definitely force this way. Because these stones are kind of weak. So generally, like in an even game, you want to force this way and strengthen your weak stones. Then here, you know, it doesn't really matter. You would just play here or even play here or something to try to get this territory, right? But since I wanted to make this, since I'm playing handicap and I wanted to make this moyo, I forced over that way, which is something I usually wouldn't do. This is just to cut
Challenge
off like this.
received.
This is just to cut off the Hane, and I don't think I would usually do this, but it's an okay move. It basically gets him to go over there. This is not a very good move. I was just kind of planning for this. And I don't think this is a great move, but I just wanted to get the territory over here. Obviously this first. And then come up this way. Like that was kind of like my plan, honestly. Just try to get this territory. But that leaves this very, very weak. So generally, it's not a great plan. But he decided to come up this way, which is fine. I decided to go over anyways. That's not right. I probably should have either just come down and killed this stone, because that's actually quite a bit of territory here. This would have been better also, because then he doesn't have the actual Atari here. So this was a poor choice by me. That I'm going to extend forward. I'm going to be okay with extending forward here for the most part. That's a bad move. And it's really, I feel like that's probably the best move right now for black. I don't know what white would do. White, I might do something like this just to give more eye space here. But generally, like, that's not a good move because you can't follow up with this. I mean, when you follow up with this, white just has the option of doing this, and now your corner is in trouble. Or in this case, obviously, I can just do this. So that's not... So, like, he ends up getting Gote for that, and that is a huge loss because it allows me to take this move. This move is very big because if he keeps on pressing over, I just have to extend, and he can actually build the wall over here and then invade my territory later. So this is a big... This mistake is kind of like a game-changing mistake. That just lets me get that. I'm still trying to solidify this moyo. You can do this right now. This doesn't really... I don't know if this really matters that much. Yeah, I guess it does right now because like I can cut. So I guess you... Well, the thing is, I can't do this. I would have to, like, I would actually have to do this. And then you can just go over top. So that's really not that big of a deal. I would still get this territory, but this is a lot better than the actual outcome. But here, let me get this header. Yeah, this is definitely like a Hane move because of the variation I just sorry, because of the variation that I just showed you. Like this is definitely like more of a Hane than anything else. That's how really that should work. So just extending here and not doing the Hane, that is a that's definitely a wrong move. Because like if you do the Hane, like you're definitely kind of trapping me this way. You're definitely kind of trapping me this way, or something like this, and it reduces my moyo a lot. But when you do this, it gives me the freedom to just take the knight's move here. And honestly, like in all honesty, like this might have actually been the better move, but I was just trying to focus on this moyo here. It's fine. That's not a good move. I think like White's always gonna Atari this first. That's just when you do this, White's always gonna Atari this first. He knows you're gonna connect. Here, that might not have been the best move. Maybe something like this, or maybe just like, actually no, it's probably the extension was probably the best move. It's very hard. It's near impossible to kill black down here. But I feel like I could fight this, make an eye down here, and then kind of like, you know, like make an eye down here. By the way, is that you don't make an eye by doing this because he can actually kill you. You would obviously make an eye by doing this. And then black has to do something like this, you know. So I probably should have extended this, but I was kind of unsure. And plus, if I extend this, I do leave this cut. I'm not really sure if this ladder works. Let me make sure. I don't think it does. No, it does. It does actually work. So he can actually cut that. But the thing is, like, if he actually does, you know, he'll probably come out. I was kind of uncertain about, you know, if I could actually live down here, because this is definitely kind of iffy. More than anything else, like, I probably could, because you know, like, this is alive, obviously. So I'm pretty like I probably could live down there. This just doesn't work. By the ways, this doesn't work. You could try to kill me, but it probably won't end very well. So the correct move was probably just to do this. But you know, this was just this is like an easier way for me to go here. This is definitely the correct move here. Taking this stone is very, very big because it kind of shatters my moyo. It doesn't really matter if I live down here after that. It really doesn't matter if I live down here after that. Like, you shatter my moyo, that's like one of your main priorities. Because killing these stones is relatively hard, but shattering this moyo and making sure that black has more territory is a much more viable goal. Doing this is wrong because this stone doesn't really matter. And now if black does this, white can just go on the outside. Yeah, so you definitely should block here. White's alive. You can't really kill white at this point. Letting me push down's definitely wrong because, you know, like now you have to guard against like, oh, can he make the crossing here? So he does that. I do that. This is Sente. So the thing is, like, it's really, really hard to kill me at this point. It's very, very hard to kill me at this point because this obviously, like, this demands a response. even if this wasn't a Sente Eye, like that demands a response, so it's actually kind of hard to kill me. He obviously has to do this. I wouldn't bother living down here right now. I would probably just, come out here first and see what I can actually do. Because there's essentially, like, you can't just take a move out and do that, because then I can just come out like this. So it is very hard to kill me right now. But I'm guessing, like, here, I'm guessing what he did here is, like, he kind of read that, but he didn't read the other way. Of course, like, I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to take that. Yeah, like, this is fine. Like, yes, I do give him a large corner, but it does solidify my Moyo here more. This is the unimportant. This is the important one. This stone's the important one. And I think it makes, like, one of these moves down here Sente as well later on. I'm gonna do this first. Like, I think some people would have just opted to maybe go. Sorry, maybe. Like, you can opt to do something like that and get this territory, and white would be way ahead anyways at this, but I opted to. It's fine. I opted to, like, threaten, like, his territory first. Realistically, I mean, I could have gone this way as well and just sacrificed those stones, but I didn't. That definitely wasn't the best move, so I just retreated. That's not good, because, like, this is a really good seal in. And even if I just tried to kill you right now, black would be very, very hard pressed to live. So, like, this is fine, because black can do this, white would just do this, and he would get this territory. And obviously, like, if black does this, white can just do this. The best kind of invasion for this is probably something like this. But, at this point, like, you would have a lot of trouble doing this because of stuff like this. You definitely would have a lot of trouble doing this because of things like this. And remember, like, you can't, and this would be actually pretty hard to get out of, obviously. At least you'd be sacrificing those three. That might not be all that much. But this, I don't know if this would actually work. Because you only have 3 liberties, so you can't cut me here. So, like, a deep invasion of this territory is very, very difficult. So, I'm going to do this to try to kill this. I can't actually kill that. I just, like, here, like, by playing this, I'm trying to guarantee a Sente block of these 2 in here. If I can get a Sente block of these 2 in here, with the strength I've built, these 2 are dead. And as long as I kill those, like, I'm, like, white's gonna win for sure. So here, like, black's just dead. This is extra play. I don't think there was. I'm gonna just look at the score counter in here. I don't think there was any time in here where I was actually under threat of, like, yeah, there was never any time in here that he actually had a chance to live. Yeah, there was no chance. So obviously, like, this play, whenever you get this kind of shape and your liberties are really tight, you gotta watch out, because obviously, like, the best play for him is this. At this point, I probably would have just done this instead, because this stone isn't very big, and just connected, and maybe just connected that, because I don't think he can actually do this. Yeah, I don't think he can actually do anything here. So that would be very bad for him. So I would have probably just done that. Both for black and white. When you ever get in this kind of shape, you do have to watch out for the squeeze liberties. So that's going to be the fighting review here. I'm going to take this challenge. Wait, is it, is this, oh, it's unranked. Nice.
Game started.
All right. Let's do,
Pass.
Usually with
Pass.
9 and 10K, I do handicap for, and these are the type of games I tend to
Pass.
lose the most often. I do tend to lose the games most often because I'm really not used to giving high handicap. Even though I've played many of these, I just have this like feeling that I'm so behind at first. If you're watching the stream, you should stop watching the stream because playing against myself is just not really all that conducive. Because like you can, I will tell like which moves you should actually do on stream. Don't think this is generally like letting me Hane here like that is. I don't think it's something that you generally do because like white here is already alive. I'm just gonna take the 3/3, and white can force this way. I won't. I'm not gonna do it right now, obviously, but later on. Sorry. By the way, on this 3/3 invasion, this is the right response on the 3/3 invasion. One more time. I can double Hana here. So here I'm actually going to split that. Usually I would just approach, but he has a pretty big wall here. Yeah, I do believe that is the right way to force. I probably should have just done this way once. I definitely think that is the right way to force. I do want to come up this way. I don't think this is worth it for him. I'm definitely going to take that one down. Like, usually I don't want people taking this stone, but at this point I don't, like this particular game, I don't, like right now, I'd rather destroy his side over here. So that's not a good move right now. By the way, I don't really know how Fisher time works, but I've never actually ran out of time on Fisher time, so it must work fine. That's a huge loss for him. This time, if he Ataris, I'm going to connect. There's too many cutting points for him. Oh, letting me come out that way is just really bad. But right now, I'm actually going to approach. Him covering me is not a big deal. Well, actually, no, I should have come out. Gotta remember, like, sometimes even when you're playing handicap, like, you should play regular moves, because they're actually pretty good. I should have come out, definitely. This is actually a pretty bad move, but I want to see what the response is. That I don't believe is the right. I don't believe that's actually the right response to that particular move. You can actually cut over here. Remember, like generally all the ladders at this point are going to work in your favor, more or less. More or less, like pretty much every ladder is going to work in your favor right now. So me doing something like this is, and then you cutting here would be pretty devastating. That's a little weird. You would definitely cap here. I don't know if I should. I should do that. Yeah, I definitely should do that. I know he can Atari down here, but right now that I don't think that would suit him very well. He has a lot of cuts here that he has to fix. Forcing me this way on this kind of shape is not that great. There's just too many cuts here. Like I can cut here, and there would be. See, the thing is, this doesn't really help with this cutting situation. Because I can take this cornerstone for free, and it's really big. And you really can't. I mean, he can give me these three, but that's huge as well. Yeah, that's too big. I mean, I still have the Hane here, and now this group is completely settled. Actually, gonna go to the bathroom. So this move is not that good because now since you're not threatening this group, it's kind of an empty move, more or less. Let's just. There's several ways I can actually invade this. So I'm actually going to force on this group first. Because there are several ways I can invade this shape. With this particular shape, I can invade here as well because I have the over top. There's always some random attachments on the corner I can make. So I'm not afraid for this group. It's already alive. So I'm going to just take the two space right now. If I do this, it's Sente because he doesn't. I mean, I guess he could sacrifice those two. I wouldn't recommend. Those two actually aren't worth all that much. I think like for me, handicap games basically like involve me like trying to reduce my opponent's territory without getting killed. That's generally what it devolves down to for handicap games. Obviously, like you like you capitalize on their mistakes. I know a lot of people watching these games are thinking like, how could people make these kind of mistakes? But like when you're playing, it's different. When you're playing, it's quite a bit different. Like people make these kind of mistakes all the time. He can cut here, and I would actually be in trouble. Actually, if he cuts here, I would just go on the bottom. When he cuts here, you don't go this way. You go on the bottom. You let him take this one stone. It's not worth all that much. It's not a good move. It might look like I'm giving him this territory, but that's not really the case. There's still a lot of invasions over here that I can take advantage of. I'm just wanting to make sure that this group is kind of out of trouble. Okay, got what I wanted there. I could do this as well, and that would probably be the safer move. But I'm actually going to do this. This is definitely a more risky move. I think going over top would actually probably be the best move for him. There's not much I can do to actually get away from this. That is not the right move. But I'm also not going to... This is actually a pretty hard decision for me. Because I did leave him this push. And if he Hane's over top, it's bad for me. So maybe this way. I am just thinking of like creative ways to do this right now. I don't think these are necessarily like what I would do. Like this does fix this major thing, and it does prevent him from just completely going over top, although that is still a problem for me right now. That really doesn't make much sense now, does it? I mean, it sort of does. Okay, so let me see. What are my options right now? Connect this way. Atari this. Just trying to make these things complex. Like, I'm actually not even sure if how I would answer this right now. I mean, I kind of know, but not really. that wasn't good for me. This thing is like, there's a chance that I'm going to live the corner here, but I'm kind of like I'm actually just kind of like fishing right now for certain moves. Oh, that's not a good move, definitely. You can't let me... You, you really don't want me to take that stone. Actually, I might have been better off doing this, but we'll see. I can play this card, I just don't really want to. And this wasn't like a really good play for me anyways. That's not a good move. Invading a shape like this is always hard. That is definitely not a good move. I think a lot of players would have just connected this at this point, actually. Or like a lot of players, I think, would have just played here. Because then if he kills this group, you have a lot of options to maybe try to kill those four. I don't exactly know, but I'm going to do that first. He actually has to go. I think he has to block this. Then I Atari here. Huh, interesting. But he kind of just gave those up. Like he got this, but he gave those up. Not a great play for him. He got the corner, but he gave all these up. And he has to spend another move here because this isn't clean yet. The best way to do that is to kill this stone right now. Then let me just take those 4. But this is a pretty big win for white, even though like black got the corner. Yeah, it's the right move. I could go this way and try to claim up top, but that's just not smart. Here, you definitely do this. Not the best move there, but it's fine. Black still has a lot of territory. Let's not get this wrong. Black still has plenty of territory. But overall, the invasion was successful, even though black got the territory. I don't understand that move. But okay, we'll play that. Actually, that probably was the wrong... Oh, that was definitely the wrong response. Whoops. That was most definitely the... No, actually, no. If he does that, I can just come up top. It's not a big deal. Okay, it's fine. You're shortening your liberties by a lot here. I do not recommend anyone actually do this. It seems like I'm tossing him a stone, but there's a reason I'm doing this. I don't know. So I get the Sente on this. So he did kill the bottom territory. He did actually kill my bottom territory, but he has to do this, which gives me the Sente, which is kind of what I wanted in the first place. Because now I get a free move, and that free move is going to be worth more than what he did here. Plus, he gave me some outward thickness. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Plus now, like, this move is actually now Sente. It is a lot of points he got here, though. By the way, as outside of Go, I really like fishing. It's just that Wisconsin's really, really cold right now, so I can't actually go out. Yeah, fishing's not all that fun when it's like -10 outside. And there's a big snowstorm. Usually I'd be against that move, but I mean, in this case... I don't think there's too much to be gained up here. I might be wrong, though.
Challenge received.
This is probably going to be the last game I play today. If he Hanes here, you just go on bottom. Don't cut, just go on bottom. It's fine. So that takes care of that. I'm actually going to Atari here I'm actually going to Atari here once again, just to get rid of this influence. Because he has a lot of influence. If he plays there, he could get some points. And you don't really, as white, you don't want that to happen. You want like this to be the only points that he has. This move here is also very, very big. Actually extremely big. I don't understand that. So I'm going to do this because, like I said, that's very big. Also, like, this move was bad because now, oh, there's nothing here right now, actually. Never mind. So extending here is also pretty big, but right now you kind of want to... that's not a good idea. Let's do this. Just want to... You basically just want to get rid of this. Playing R18 is also pretty big. Jump, he has this here if you jump, which may, I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, you can jump. Because if he pushes, you can just retreat. It's definitely not a good move. Because it isolates these two stones now. These two are dead. He can have that stone. I'm also, well, I'm not really forming this because this group is, it's alive, but I mean, sorry. Push. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, if your goal is to attack this group, then if the goal is to attack this group, like, you need to isolate this group. I just managed to connect that group, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. And now I have forcing moves, and now you're just helping me build my moyo in the middle so I can actually get more territory. Usually you just go over top. You would counter Atari on top. I don't know if I really want to answer that. There are much bigger moves out there, like a lot of bigger endgame moves. Because these two are already dead. These two are already dead. So I'm not going to try to fight for the couple of points that are left in here. This is important because he can actually come over here and then threaten to Tiger's Mouth here. This is also very big. So those are the two bigger ones. You also have this particular move. I'm going to go ahead and answer this. But you also have this move still. That's not as important. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Okay, are those two stones actually worth it? Yeah, let's just do that. So like at this point, like this is the only territory that black has. White has this, white has this, white has this. Black has a little bit here, obviously, but I'm not going to do that. There's a couple of points in here, yes. I think there's a... I'm going to do this first, but I think there's actually a ko here. I'm going to play this just to make sure. Pretty sure there's actually a ko here. There's a lot of cutting points here. I can't read this exactly, but I'm pretty sure there's like a ko here. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, yeah, there is. There is a ko. Oh, no, there's not, because this is Atari 2. Well, that's not good for him. No, there's not, because this was in the Tiger's Mouth too, so there's not actually a ko here. But he just played this wrong. So he can't connect that because I can connect this, and he can't disconnect this now. So I'm actually going to connect this now, and he has to connect over here. If he takes those two, I can take these four. Of course, I'm not going to respond to that. My mission is accomplished. This is much larger. I do have to watch out so he doesn't kill this entire thing. I don't think he can right now, but I just got to make sure. So this is like a squeeze move. Just for shits and giggles, I'm just gonna make sure that he doesn't actually kill my group. It's fine, actually. Take that. I think this is actually decently large, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. That's alive. He didn't need to do that. No, actually, it's not. Oh wait, I did miss that. But I think this is I think this is Seki at best for me. That's not really a point. There's a couple of points here. Let's do this. Couple of points there. I think it's just better that I actually think it's just better that Hane than do this. But that's just my opinion. Can I actually block here? I believe I can, but this is Gote. I think. Yeah, I can actually, I believe I can actually block here. But I have to connect this afterwards. That's not worth that much. It actually might be better to play here. And I'm pretty sure it is better to actually play here. And then do that. I don't think I actually need to do that, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It's fine. I want to do this just so he can't get across. Okay. That's a couple of points there. Just make these points here. That's not worth much, so he shouldn't actually do that. Sorry, this. Go here. That's just like killing the point here later. Doesn't need to do that right now. This is also 2 points because it kills this point here. And since there's an I here and an I here, I don't need to fix this. So with that being said, I might as well just take these out. There's nothing here because if he goes here, I can just come up. What? And OGS has been getting a lot more of these errors lately. OGS has been giving me a lot more errors lately. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Pass.
There are other points here. Like, this is a point. Like, you should... Like, there's no points here, but that's a point. There might be some extra stuff down here. Like, you don't really want to pass until your opponent fills in like all the stuff that could. There's also a point right there. So you do want to make sure there's also a point right there as well. So you're losing a couple of points here and there. So you do want to be, you definitely want to be more careful here. Because he just lost a point. There's a point right there. Right, so you do really have to be careful here at the end. This game is not dependent on a point or two. But, I'm just saying, like, if it's a close game, you do want to, like, watch out for those things. Because that is actually a point there. Now I think all the points are gone. I'm just going to... No, there's a point here, too. Because, like, there's a point here as well. So he lost maybe 3 or 4 points in that exchange. Now I'm going to pass because there's nothing else.
Remove the dead stones.
Yeah, I'm ahead by a lot. So, it like, this doesn't actually matter all that much. But when you're playing, like...
Won.
When you're actually playing a regular game and it's fairly close, those things do matter a lot. I didn't think I was ahead by like 55, but I knew I was ahead by quite a bit. So, you pass 4 times. He starts with roughly a 40-point advantage. I mean, like I said, the traditional Josekis work perfectly fine here. And then you get a free move somewhere. So the traditional Josekis work really fine, really good there. This is not too bad. I definitely don't favor it. You definitely want to play this, because if you play this, white does have to play this, and then technically you can get like a free move, because once you play this, like you do this, you can basically just go here. White can force, but you always have this tiger's mouth, and then you can attack him as well. So letting me get, I should have played here, because that would force black to play here. But I actually Haned, which is bad of me, but I know the Hane is pretty big for the corner. This is okay. I'm going to invade the 3-3 here. Yeah, this is actually the right... The one he played, this is actually the right response. It's not actually the Hane. I actually Hane a lot. I just forget about this. But that is actually the right response. That is, like, that's not good for him. He gives me the Sente. And obviously the approach is the best move, but I'm going to split his side. Forcing me this way is actually the correct move. If you force me this way, you're not making good enough move. If you force me this way, you're not making good enough use of your moyo, your thickness, because this is a very, very tight two-step leap, and there's more potential this way. So forcing me towards your thickness this time, I believe, is the right move. Obviously, Katago wants me to go here, but that just feels weird for me. So I took the two-step. I was thinking about this, but then, you do have this right now. So that's why I came up. This is not going to be a good move. This is not a good move because you have to connect this, by the way. Yeah, you can do this, but realistically, sacrifice getting this stone in exchange for this side is a pretty big loss. It's going to be a loss for black. But that being said, you absolutely have to connect this. This is one of those shapes where this stone is key. You lose a bunch of points if you don't connect this. Because think about it, you eventually play here. I play here, right? I play here. Now, your shape is really weak here, and you're kind of weak here as well. And you didn't really get anything from this. Well, I got really, really thick here. Really thick and, much more influential here. So it does this. Yeah, I should have done this. The connection's okay because it doesn't matter if you do this. There's so many cutting points that it doesn't really matter all that much to me. So I actually should have played this. And then I should have played this first because this guarantees an answer, and then played down there on the 3-3. But I went ahead and approached. Here, I feel like you could just do that. Because you already have the stone here, so this is going to be all your solid territory if you just do that. So if it were me, I would definitely secure the corner and then play like this. Because these two stones aren't that strong, and you already have a solid corner here. Remember, despite this mistake, you're still ahead by about 25 points. So if you just make solid trades with me, you're probably going to win. Because, despite this mistake, white really doesn't have any territory. If you can get this territory and get some of this territory, you're going to be solidly ahead. This is one of those things looking at the state of the game. So playing this, this is the move. During the game, I actually said this, yeah, if he cuts, I'm in trouble. If he would actually cut, I kind of have to do, I kind of have to play like this. And me, I might actually just do this. I mean, yes, you do give up the corner, but there's a lot of influence over here, and you have a lot of potential in this territory. So that's actually not a good trade for white. What I'm hoping he'll do is what he did. I should have just connected and just played this. That's the right move. This is not good. Obviously it's good if he does this, right? But this is actually not good because I have to do this. Otherwise, the cut's a huge deal for me. And taking away that liberty is just no good. Whether you're white or black, you don't want to do that. So for future reference, connecting here is better than playing this move. But since he did that, it makes it a really good move. This is still the right move. It does force me to go here. And as weird as it sounds, these two stones really just aren't worth much right now because this group's not under threat and there's no real potential for territory over here. So these two stones actually aren't worth that much, even if I tried to kill them. So coming up top gets me that for free. See, the trade of here. Let me tell you, the trade of this move for this extension definitely favors white. White gets a little bit more solidity and territory down here. Black doesn't really get anything up here. This kind of thickness and influence is not, it's not useful because I already have this here and there's not much territory you can gain here. When you're building influence, you have to realize that you have to use the influence for something later on. And if there's nothing you can use the influence for later on, it's not a good move. This is still the best move because, like I said, these three stones just aren't worth very much right now. You always have the option of just doing this and letting me spend another move to take these three stones. Yes, this is thick, but you already got the bottom territory secure, and then you have another free move. So you kind of have to think of it that way. I should have actually cut here first, but I ended up cutting here. And now since the stone is here, these three actually become pretty big. Plus, these three are bigger now because it hurts your stone here. Yeah, this has always been pretty big. You're not going to be able to kill that down there, but it's important. This particular move isn't worth much because now like you're not really threatening this group anymore. Honestly, like this would have been bigger, and this definitely would have been bigger. This is actually the biggest move right now because if you do this, I probably have to go down here somewhere. So I'm going to put pressure on these, but I can't really kill these. So something like this is still bigger because it forces me to answer, because if I don't, then these stones might actually die. But that's not bad. I take the 2 leap. He does this. I'm going to do that and then come up. I should have just like played like this because white's actually not that behind right now. But where did I play? I played here. You don't really have to answer this. These two, like since this group's not under threat, these 2 stones are not worth that much. So let's just say you play here, I play here. You can just do this. That's perfectly fine. Like actually, you doing this is bad for white because all white gets is the 2 stones, and then you kind of like his group here is a lot weaker. So this like I played this move just to see like where white, if black would answer and how he would answer, because if I was black, I would actually not answer this. I would not actually answer this move. But you know, since you answered that move, I got a little bit of advantage on you. So like I was thinking about attacking here, but then I was kind of afraid of that. And like it's kind of hard to escape. So actually invading in here is not a good idea besides this particular move here. And even if you extend down, it is kind of difficult for me to actually live. So I tried this. This might have been a better move. I mean, this might have been a better move for me because you would have to connect. But once again, like I'm definitely not confident in my ability to actually make eyes down here. Yeah, I was definitely I was definitely doing that. Like if I did this, I was just afraid of like this. If I did that, I was definitely afraid of that. So I should have actually played here. I don't know how this works actually. Like, I guess you could technically do, like, I guess I could technically do this, and this would actually be fine. But you would still get a lot of the territory down here. So I tried to get creative once he did that. I did try to get creative once he did that. So this, I feel like if you just extended, I might actually have a pretty hard time. I'm just gonna, if you extended, this shape's not good for white because it doesn't matter which way. It doesn't really matter which way Atari. I can't kill your stone. And I don't feel like I can actually make eyes down here. So, in my opinion, the best way to play this is just to extend here. Yes, there is the possibility I can maybe make something happen over here. Like I can live down here, but you still get the rest of this territory. So maybe like you would extend here as well. But then again, like I can just do what I did last time. So a lot of stuff's like up in the air here. It's actually fairly complex. I cut here. You did this. That's actually okay. I did this. The correct answer is to take this. You can't let me take that stone. Once again, like letting me take this stone is a huge mistake. Because it makes me a lot stronger, and now your group's a little bit weak here. You should. I don't really know how to answer that actually. Like I guess I guess connecting was okay, because if you did this, I can just come up this way and live down here. I don't know if this would be actually alive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's alive. So this was the right answer. I connected this. Yeah, the move here definitely should be to cut. And then like we would actually fight the ko here later on. The move definitely is to cut here. Because if you do this, I basically did this. If you give up the Sente and let me Tiger's Mouth out, it's really bad for you. I should have just like connected here. Because I would have been able to Tiger Mouth out. That was a mistake by me. But I pushed here. You did that. Coming down this way would have been fine as well, because you can't, since he can't cut here, like doing this would have been okay as well. This might have been the better move, even though he can come out. Yeah, like these kind of situations are tricky. You want to kill these 4 stones, which you can, but sometimes like the underneath move is better, because if you do the underneath move, then you might actually have something to do here, around this area. And also like while these 4 stones are fairly large, like you do let him get this particular stone on Sente, which is pretty big in terms of points. This is a bad move, because if this is not connected, then I can't come in here. But since this is actually connected, I can later on, as you saw me do, I can actually go in there. So peeping here is actually not a good move, unless you really need to do it. That I don't really understand. I should have just done this, honestly. That was dumb by me. I should have just done that. I kind of lost track there. I can also do this. You would have to answer. So, yeah, I should have just done that. And then I would have had the Sente anyways. And plus, like, I do have options to do things like this. So that was a mistake. That was actually a mistake by me, to try to block. But this is kind of a reflexive move by me, because when someone does this, I pretty much always block. Connecting's the best move, because I have to connect. I actually also have to connect this way. So that's why this is the best move. That's why it's the best move. I would have to connect something like up here, and then you have a lot of options. And now like this group up here is really weak. For this, I might have just done something like this. I definitely might have just done something like that. It is relatively hard to kill me, obviously. I don't know. Like it's relative. I don't think it's easy to kill me, but you kind of deprive me of any kind of points I have up there. Obviously, I'm going to connect here. If you connect here, like I'm still in a lot of trouble, because like I'm still in a lot of trouble if you connect here, because you still have this wedge move. And white can't wedge this, because if black cuts, then white is just in trouble. Like there's no way white can get out of this. So I can't actually connect that. So yeah, connecting this was the best move. Also, yeah, this is Sente as well, so there's no need for me to go ahead and waste points. Like whenever I do this, this is always the best move. Like connecting here was the best move for the longest time, because I have this problem over here. This move to me doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I actually should have just done this. But the thing, usually you would do this move to build influence here to make territory, but in this case, there's not that much territory to actually. I don't think there's that much territory to be had up here. So If you do this, I would have just gone underneath. Of course, I come up here just to destroy this territory. So now you've given up this territory down here, and your influence just isn't going to be worth all that much. That also doesn't make much sense, because you are making me stronger on the bottom, and there's not much you can actually do here. This might still be the biggest move, but I'm going to Hane the corner. Black should just play this. Mission accomplished. I do this first. And I come out. This is not a great move, but I mean, it is kind of what it is. That's not a good move. This stone isn't worth that much. So these two are worth a lot more, but actually, like, yeah, this is actually a lot bigger. Because that does open up, like, cutting around this area. So yeah, I can see why this is a lot bigger. So I decided to kill this anyways. You do this. I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to push. That doesn't make any sense. I know you're trying to make moves up here, but I mean, I can always just do something like this. Blocking, if you want to attack, you have to block. I mean, you're not going to be able to kill me. I don't think there's any real way you're going to kill me here. But, you know, you would definitely block that. This stone isn't very big, so you would play a move that's much, much bigger than this. Whether you play this or whether you play this. Connecting this stone isn't very important. I decided just to connect this to clean it up, but I really didn't need to, because there was realistically no way I was going to die here. Yeah. So if I actually cut here, you would be in a lot of trouble. You would be in a ton of trouble if I actually decided to cut there. Because this group here isn't alive. I didn't actually see that. This whole group here isn't alive. So I decided to cut here. And then, obviously, this is still the biggest move. I decided to cut here and then extend out. Now this isn't as big because this group's no longer in trouble. So if I cut here now, you can just kind of come up like this. And yeah, it's just not... Even if I do this and then, you know, I do this, this group is not really in trouble anymore, so it's not worth as much. There is something here. I eventually saw it, but I just decided to play some ending moves. I knew that I was ahead by this point, so I wasn't really looking for moves anymore. This is big. This is big. So this is bigger than this. Because if I do this and then he does this now, I feel like I can do that. I can do that, and now it's not nearly as effective. So that's why this move is bigger than this move. Went ahead and did that. He does this. I'm going to do that. Still, this is pretty big. He does this. I do this. He covers. Of course, taking this move, I can just come back down here, so it's not that big. I'm going to do the corner move, because even though I rescued some of these points, it's only like 2 points more than this. So the corner Hanes are really big at the end. Doing this, I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take these two. This is pretty big because I can go down that way, but he does that. So there's not that much value in this, because if I do this, I basically destroy 3 or 4 points. So he does that. I'm going to come out this way because I know there's... Oh, first, automatically, there's like 4 or 5 points destroyed. And then it's Sente as well. And if I go here, it's Sente again. Now I'm actually gonna do this. So the thing is, this is actually a ko. You cannot connect here, because if you connect here, then I have a double Atari here. So you still would go here, and then fight. I mean, you would fight this ko, but I think you would do something like that, coming up that way. But going over here, letting me do this. Oh, I should have done this. Yeah, I should have, because I would have killed these four. I screwed up there. I would have killed these four. No, actually, no, I wouldn't have. But no, because he can actually connect here. And then I do this, he does this. You get pretty much the same result, but yeah, that would have been fine. So I connected here. He connects here. So the thing is, like, I just gave up 2 points here. That's the wrong. That's why it's the wrong sequence. I do go over here because if I don't, like all these points down here are destroyed, and I get a bunch of points here, so it's probably 5 or 6 points at least. This is pretty big. I would always do this versus black because it forces white to do that. That's just kind of like a little read thing. So my main concern is, like, I got to make sure that somehow this doesn't completely die. And that's really my only concern, because as long as this doesn't completely die, I'm going to win at this point. So that's why I did that, did this, and then I finally took this because that solves all the problems here. This is easily the biggest play because it's Sente, so you can't lose anything from playing this. It's Sente. So that's not really necessary. And also, like, this is Sente, so I don't think this is completely, well, it might be. It might be. I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, like, that's fine actually. But this remains the biggest move. Realistically, this is going to be way better. This is Sente, and then you can play something else. Whereas, like, if you really think about it, you're not depriving white of any more points, and white gets the Sente here. Whereas, like, if you just Hane and white just, does that, it might be 1 point more for white, but it's also Sente for black, so that's a lot more important right now. So I'm going to do that. He's going to do that, block. And of course, at this point, I have to do this. Because at this point, if I don't, let's say I do this, he takes. Now if he does that, I'm in trouble. Now if he does that, I'm in trouble. Because I have to kill this, and then I would have to fight this ko, essentially. Because this is an Atari. So I would actually have to fight this ko at this point. So problematic, obviously. So I connect this, and then the rest of it's just finishing. But the thing is, like, invasions like this generally not good for white. When you're invading into where he's really, really thick, probably not great. I just did it because it was a handicap game, but generally not a great invasion there. Mishaps in the beginning. Obviously, over here there was a little bit of a mishap. This is definitely a big mishap. This is a keystone right here. It's a huge mishap there. I made a little bit of a mistake on this corner. Of course, like, the little mishap, he made a mistake here, obviously. And you just need to get better at judging the value of certain moves and certain stones here. So that's the lesson for today. Thanks for watching me. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. I will be back tomorrow, and maybe back tomorrow, and I'll see you guys.